He was the boy next door, the charming law student. Ted Bundy wasn't who he seemed. He was a predator, a monster wearing a human mask. Bundy's reign of terror began in the 1970s. He preyed on young women, luring them with his charisma and good looks. Bundy shattered the illusion of safety. Ted Bundy's crimes sent shockwaves across America. The nation watched in horror as the body count rose. Each victim, a young woman with dreams and aspirations, brutally taken. Bundy's ability to blend in, to appear so normal, amplified the terror. He wasn't a shadowy figure lurking in an alleyway. He was the man next to you in line at the grocery store. His trial became a media sensation. Bundy, ever the showman, relished the attention. Even facing overwhelming evidence, Bundy maintained an air of innocence. Ted Bundy was the epitome of the American ideal. He excelled in school, displaying a sharp intellect and a natural charisma. Bundy's charm was his most potent weapon. He used it to disarm his victims, to lull them into a false sense of security. He would often feign injury, sporting a cast or crutches to appear non-threatening. He wasn't just handsome and charming, he was intelligent. Bundy attended the University of Washington, where he studied psychology. He honed his skills of persuasion while volunteering for a suicide hotline. Behind Bundy's all-American facade lurked a cunning and methodical mind. His crimes were carefully planned and executed. He stalked his victims, learning their routines, their vulnerabilities. Bundy often targeted young women who resembled his first love, Stephanie Brooks. His intelligence extended to his ability to evade capture. Bundy was a master of disguise, changing his appearance to avoid detection. He was acutely aware of police procedures, studying investigative techniques. Bundy's ability to compartmentalize was chilling. The Pacific Northwest, known for its breathtaking beauty and tranquility, became the hunting ground for one of America's most prolific serial killers. Ted Bundy's reign of terror began in Washington state, where young women started disappearing with alarming frequency. Each case bore chilling similarities. Attractive, college-aged women, last seen in public, their fates unknown. As the body count rose, a collective sense of dread settled over the region. Parents clung tightly to their daughters, fear etched on their faces. Young women, once carefree and independent, found themselves looking over their shoulders, their sense of safety shattered. The once familiar streets and parks now seemed ominous, potential hunting grounds for a predator lurking in the shadows. The victims, each with their own unique story, their own dreams and aspirations, became forever linked by tragedy. Linda Ann Healy, a bright and promising radio journalist, vanished from her apartment, leaving behind a blood-stained bed and a community in shock. Donna Gail Manson, a talented musician with a contagious laugh, disappeared after attending a jazz concert, leaving her friends and family clinging to hope that would soon turn to despair. As investigators struggled to connect the dots, Bundy continued his gruesome spree, moving from Washington to Oregon, leaving a trail of heartbreak and fear in his wake. The Pacific Northwest, once a symbol of natural beauty and serenity, now bore the invisible scars of a killer's rampage, a chilling reminder that evil could lurk even in the most idyllic of settings. The disappearances continued, sending shock waves through communities already on edge. Susan Elaine Rancourt vanished from a college campus, leaving behind unanswered questions and a campus paralyzed by fear. Law enforcement formed a task force dedicated to the investigation. They pored over case files, desperate for a break. As weeks turned into months, a sense of helplessness set in. Neighbors eyed each other with suspicion, communities gripped by fear. Ted Bundy, pulled over for a broken taillight, became the prime suspect in a string of murders. News of Bundy's arrest and the horrifying crimes he was suspected of spread like wildfire across the nation. The details, each one more chilling than the last, dominated headlines and news broadcasts. Bundy, the charming boy next door, juxtaposed with his alleged crimes, shocked the nation. His ability to evade capture added to the public's morbid fascination. He became the boogeyman of a generation, a cautionary tale told to children. As Bundy's trial approached, the nation held its breath, eager for answers. The trial, broadcast on national television, became a media sensation. The Pacific Northwest, marked by Bundy's terror, slowly began to heal. The scars remained, a reminder of the vulnerability of innocence. Ted Bundy's name, etched in criminal history, serves as a reminder of hope for justice. The nation breathed a collective sigh of relief when Ted Bundy was finally apprehended. The nightmare, it seemed, was over. But Bundy had one more act of terror up his sleeve. He escaped. Not once, but twice. His first escape from a Colorado jail in 1977 was a testament to his cunning. Bundy sawed through the bars of his cell window, losing over 30 pounds to squeeze through. He landed in a jailer's apartment. He navigated the corridors and simply walked out the front door. For 6 days, Bundy was a ghost, haunting the nightmares of a nation. His face, plastered on every newspaper and television screen, served as a chilling reminder. Bundy's time on the run was short-lived. He was recaptured, his taste of freedom cut short. Bundy's second escape, from a Colorado jail in December 1977, was even more brazen than the first. Capitalizing on the lax security and complacent atmosphere of the holiday season, Bundy, having lost a significant amount of weight, slipped through a crawl space in the ceiling of his cell. This time, he headed south, towards the sun-drenched streets of Florida, seeking a fresh start, a new hunting ground. The news of Bundy's second escape sent shockwaves across the nation. Disbelief turned to outrage as the realization dawned that the justice system, tasked with protecting the innocent, had failed not once, but twice. The manhunt intensified, becoming a nationwide dragnet, a race against time to stop a predator from claiming new victims. Bundy's time in Florida was marked by a chilling escalation of violence. His attacks, once characterized by a calculated precision, became more frenzied, more brutal. He seemed to revel in the chaos, the terror he inflicted. The mask of normalcy had slipped, revealing the monster beneath. The sorority house attack at Florida State University, where Bundy bludgeoned and strangled 2 young women and brutally assaulted 2 others, sent shockwaves through the nation. The brutality of the attacks, the sheer savagery, shattered any remaining illusions about Bundy's character. He was not a misguided soul, a victim of circumstance, but a monster in human form. The courtroom was silent as the judge read the jury's verdict, guilty. For Ted Bundy, the charade was over. The mask of innocence had shattered, revealing the killer beneath. The judge sentenced Bundy to death. For the families, it was a bittersweet victory. Justice was served, but the pain remained. Even facing death, Bundy remained defiant. He proclaimed his innocence, clinging to a lie. On January 24, 1989, Bundy was executed. Outside, crowds gathered, seeking closure. The man who terrorized a nation was no more. His crimes left an indelible mark on the American psyche. Was Ted Bundy born inherently evil, or did something fracture his humanity? Some experts point to Bundy's early life as a potential breeding ground for his darkness. The absence of a father figure, coupled with a reportedly volatile relationship with his grandfather, may have planted seeds of insecurity. Others argue that Bundy's crimes stemmed from a deep-seated psychopathy. Psychopaths are often described as charming and charismatic, able to mimic emotions they don't genuinely feel. Bundy certainly exhibited these traits. However, pinpointing a single cause for Bundy's transformation remains elusive. It's likely a complex interplay of genetic predispositions, early childhood experiences, and societal influences. Delving into the mind of Ted Bundy is a journey into the darkest recesses of the human psyche. Bundy's crimes weren't simply about sexual gratification, they were about dominance. Many psychologists believe Bundy's choice of victims offers a glimpse into his psyche. His victims became surrogates for his anger and frustration. Bundy's meticulous planning and execution of his crimes suggest a chilling level of compartmentalization. He was able to separate his normal life from the monstrous acts he committed. This duality speaks to a profound detachment from reality. Some experts also point to Bundy's fascination with pornography as a potential contributing factor. Even after his capture and imprisonment, Ted Bundy remained an enigma. He granted interviews, wrote letters, and even spoke at length during his trial, offering glimpses into his thoughts and motivations. However, his words were often contradictory, a mixture of self-pity, grandiosity, and attempts to deflect blame onto others. Whether he was truly incapable of understanding the gravity of his crimes or simply unwilling to accept responsibility remains a subject of debate. In his final interview, conducted just hours before his execution, Bundy claimed that pornography and violence in the media had fueled his dark desires, suggesting that he was a victim of societal ills rather than the perpetrator of heinous crimes. This last-ditch effort to shift blame, to portray himself as a product of his environment rather than a master manipulator, rang hollow for many. It seemed like a final act of manipulation, an attempt to control the narrative even in the face of death. Ultimately, Ted Bundy took his secrets to the grave. We may never fully comprehend the depths of his depravity, the twisted logic that drove him to commit such unspeakable acts. His legacy remains a chilling reminder that evil can wear many masks, that it can lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly normal individuals. The darkness that resided within Ted Bundy serves as a stark warning, a cautionary tale about the potential for evil that resides within us all.